Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here. Welcome to our Final Fantasy 16 100% run. We're going to do all the side quests, all the hunts, everything the game has to offer, as well as this also serving as your intro and outro. So if you're liking this playthrough, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Check out everything else on the channel. Leave a like below. And without further ado, let's get right into some Final Fantasy 16. Thanks, guys.
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
The inn's a mess of blood-soaked splinters, thanks to you. The least you can do is let us...
Huh?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement,
Okay.
but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle?
Trying to get us through the gate.
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals.
Okay.
I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere.
Okay.
And pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then. Just as you arranged. And put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult.
I think it's him all along.
Just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support, if things turn sour.
Of course.
What was all that crashing and banging about before?
If I had to hit a chest, it would be down there. Or hide a chest, I mean. Okay. Like a point over here. There has to be like a chest or something. That's a plant. It is not there. We can't go that direction. We can't go to the left. Is this Coop this guard?
Turn around, friend. There's nothing back there but a pack of bloodthirsty beasts.
Good killing that wager. I would imagine this leads to somewhere actually.
I'll take it from here.
Okay. Bro, you have all the crystals.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty.
What?
And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion. and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both!
It's not over yet, Uncle.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Too slow.
Okay. You go. Oh, come on. That's all the ability points I get anymore.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalimil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is.
Okay.
Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
I don't know why you aren't already on the wagon. If you knew you were coming to get this. Hey, what's going on, Yuri? I'm super focus mode right now, so I'm sorry if I missed that.
I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Okay.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Of all the... Ugh!
Here, wear this.
Another mark. Okay.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubor.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalimil is back in bed with Sid.
Okay.
Umia Lostelan. Tuisakelis.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive? So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold. Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Ooh, a meteorite. Nice.
You wish to talk? I'm honored. You and I...
Have more in common than you might think. Not only are we both masters of the blade and devilishly handsome to boot, but we are both the second people to bear our respective names.
What?
You didn't think Rosina Dalimil was my own invention, did you? It was the name of my master. I inherited it from her, along with her title and her smithy. Ensuring that her name lived on was the least I could do after all she did for me. She plucked me from the streets and put my less than nimble fingers to work making blades instead of trouble.
Alas.
She was to leave my life as suddenly and unexpectedly as she had entered it. I swore to follow in her footsteps, that I might change others' lives as she had mine. That is why I keep her forge alive, why I play the desert hare, why I care for the orphans of Dalimil. Indeed, I had thought my obligations to Renz and Dricka might be my most pressing concern. That is until the infamous Sid made a surprise reappearance, rather muddied the waters.
Still?
I suppose there is enough for me to go around, but do forgive me if the desert hare isn't always at your beck and call, won't you? Okay.
Ours is a blessed corner of the Velcroy.
A venerable oasis with clear running water and natural hot springs. I don't doubt that people have been gathering here since long before the founding of the Republic. Since it was founded, they've been gathering in greater numbers to serve the needs of the miners who work Drake's Fang and the soldiers who guard it. And serve them they did, lining their coffers far from the prying eyes and gasping fingers of the Republican excisemen. Not the edicts from Randallah carry much weight in these parts. Dalimil has long been something of a law unto itself. Here, those with the most money or the most friends make the rules.
At least they did.
Until Kupta built that castle of his at the heart of the Mother Crystal. Dalimil has been Titan's fiefdom since then. But while his men may be liberal with their coin, they are anything but in the exercising of their authority, which, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is absolute.
So,
You see why those with the people's best interest at heart took it upon themselves to organize their own protection. My predecessor, chief among them. Okay.
how very fitting.
That the noble soldiers of Dalmatia and Walud partners in arms, so on so many battlefields, we also become partners in crime. Still, the merchants of Dalimil will be relieved to see them brought to justice. Many have been driven almost to ruin for want of crystal. I'm sure that they would be all rushing to thank you for the service you have done, if, of course, they had any idea what you had done.
Of course.
As long as we remain reliant on the power of the crystals, we leave ourselves open to such exploitation. But people are such greedy, needy creatures.
There's simply no other way.
5. You must bring down each and every mother crystal and the twins and put an end to the people's thoughtless dependence upon them. Do try not to disappoint me. Okay.
Farewell now.
I've never even forged a butter knife before.
Sava the Apprentice.
Perhaps Forge Master Luba's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I. Oh, wait. Are you Clive? Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luba's least accomplished apprentice. Soon to be former apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware.
Well, that's an issue.
He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalimil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that, or pack my bags.
Better start packing. I could give you a hand.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before.
Really?
And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalimil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalimil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade.
True.
Right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we? I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something useful.
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I better get to it.
There's one other one in here.
Take a sniff, good sir.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Okay. See what this quest is.
The baths are, closed for scrubbing. Please bear with us a little longer.
All those years of toil, every coin I've ever earned is tied up in this place.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. Leave me be. On second thought, perhaps you are just what I need. Might your services be for hire?
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business, the baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the crystals in Dalimil wouldn't be enough to cool it. I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water's source. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers thinking I've abandoned the place. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you.
Okay.
Go to Dusnoff Terraces. Tell me what you find there.
All right. I'll go and take a look.
It's...
Wonderful.
I'm not sure where that one is.
Leave the market by the south gate, The smell of sulfur will guide you the rest of the way. These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end in a debtor's prison. My livelihood, my very life, is at stake.
Silver platters, hanging lanterns, keep the Castle Dasbog.
Plates and pots! Bowls and...
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
It would make a
Finest
fine gift
fabrics,
for your
fresh
beloved.
from the capital.
She'll look at you.
I'll be asking for you again.
It's all the fault of this blasted war. The moment they found out for a measly bunch of...
Ah, they've opened the gate.
Lubor was true to his word.
Made from the stoutest stoneware. Won't chip, won't crack, no matter how rocky.
Just look at the detail.
You've spoken with Lord Furler, then?
Sweet incense. What candle? This town is truly blessed. The bustling markets, the healing...
It's gotta be someone up top.
The most fragrant herbs.
White carpets have pride of place.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
You're going to drink my pockets dry. I need to drink.
Fucking men of the wrong.
It's all the fault of this blasted war. The moment they find out you're from the
Plates and pots! Bowls and...
Needed to a silk.
Put a knife with an edge like Odin's razor in my hand, and I'll make short work of any carcass.
A word of advice, traveller. You see pots like this around town, you leave them alone. Unlike where you come from, fresh water's in short supply around these parts. We store what little rainwater we get in these pots.
What the? This is weird.
I see you wear the Desert Rose. You won Lubor's trust, then. I assure you, Sid II, you will find it more valuable treasure than any gold.
It would make a fine gift for your beloved. She'll look at you in quite a different light, I'm sure.
Put a knife with an edge like Odin's razor in my hand, and I'll make short work of any carcass.
Huh.
In all my years tending the baths, I've never known anything like this. Hanging lanterns, keep...
You're a friend of Lubor's, aren't you? Everyone's getting their crystals now.
There he
if
is.
That's what you're worried about. So, let's leave it there.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife? I assume you use one out in the field.
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
Thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
Okay.
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation. Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
Silver platters, made from the stoutest stoneware.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven. Take a sniff, good sir.
My carpets have pride of place.
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalimil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalimil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Lubor wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light. Meaning someone is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favorite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
This is no...
All right. See what this lady has to say.
Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... Oh, you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so it doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalimil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalimil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalimil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask after all that you've done for me, but...
The limestone? Fine. I can
Go get
hardly
it.
abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's little riddle.
I can't thank you enough, Clive.
It is because the
You'll
white
have no trouble
deposits.
finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Okay.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly. So you...
It's the wrong button. Let's just not walk that and let's just fast travel.
This is no good.
Is it true what I mean?
Out of the heat.
The men of the rock were carting off our crystals for
The
themselves.
finest fabric!
The most fragrant herbs and spices.
Kneaded to a silken softness. Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Sweet incense. What?
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
What do you want? Directions?
Ah, I'm not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Talmeki and Walud are allies, and as you have seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. My man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest. I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
He ain't got no hands.
So long as you have a plan.
My plan is just to kill him. He ain't got no hands.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
One rock looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Seven needs.
Come on, girl. The gate's open now. We can press on.
We gotta go kill those moms.
What the hell are those things?
Something awful's taken up residence in the springs. You'll turn back if you know what's good for you.
No, they gonna die.
By the flames. That explains the heat.
Whew. Okay.
Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling.
We could just travel over here and just talk to the, since one of our missions is right next to the obelisk.
This is no good.
I hear you and the Master are working together now. Glad to have you on board.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for.
Okay. Maybe.
That'll do, I reckon. A knife forged from the very rocks of Dalimil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I only hope Master Lubor agrees.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalimil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but Sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalimil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava: know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
There goes a master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh? The spirit of Dalimil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when
There
I
you
do,
will.
I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have
I will hold
ever
you that
seen.
to Sava. Okay. Ooh, more goblin coins.
Thank you, Clive. I honestly don't think I could.
The finest fabric!
The most fragrant herbs
needed to a silken softness.
Made from the stoutest. There he is. The man who's... I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this. What did you find at the terraces? What threatened to make me a pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about. But I burdened you with my worries enough already. Here.
They're called
small something by way of thanks.
bombs, I think, right?
Right. It's
The other
high
one
time
was
I
like
got
the
back to
fiery
work.
one.
With a little luck, the day might yet be salvaged.
Okay. We're getting there. Nice.
It's just as well I sent you to the terraces in my stead.
All right.
Insects.
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
So I'll pause it right quick. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Get something to drink. So I think we're not gonna have. What we're going for is this. We're going to master that. All right. Peach. You love peaches. Okay.
Come on, girl, the gate's...
Okay, so we can't go left, but there is a trader over there. Not worried about the life. Hit the limit break and we're pretty much full health at that point.
Broken down, you say? From the weight of its load?
Get that damned wagon fixed! Unless you'd rather our men in Dalimil starved.
The axle's gone, Captain. There's nothing I can do.
Okay, so we're not going that way. There it is, right there.
There it is. Drake's Fang.
Let's see the castle. Maybe, oh, the castle's gonna be inside.
We'll be hiding inside.
Along with goodness knows how many guards, all on highest alert. You'll need to keep your wits about you if you're to reach him. So be careful.
I will, Uncle.
Before you go, Clive, allow me to apologize. After what befell at Phoenix Gate and the crisis that followed in its wake, I fled. I retreated to my counting house and danced attendance upon the vicereine in the hope it would bring me favor. I betrayed my nation to save my skin, like the coward I am. And I'm sorry.
Uncle, please.
It's not too late, Clive. Rosaria is yours by right, and there are those that would help you to take it back.
Oh, it's my brother's by right, isn't
Had
it?
I the courage of my brother, I might already have done so. But that ship has sailed. You, however...
No. Forgive me, but I cannot. I fight to build a new world now. A better world. Where men can live and die on their own terms. I was raised in a nation that strove to improve the plight of bearers. Only later did I realize that spark of freedom did not arise by chance, but was kindled by my father. You would see me follow in his footsteps. And that is exactly what I mean to do. Not by ruling Rosaria, but by extending his ideals to the whole of the twins. Though every soul in the realm may judge my actions heresy, I am certain my cause is just.
You really are just like him, you know? Thank you, Clive, for coming back to me. I am proud to call you nephew. Well then,
this is where we must part ways. Wish me luck in convincing my Canvarian friend to share his considerable talents. I mean to plunder his coffers and prove myself worthy of a place in your merry band. Till then, my boy.
Till then, go safely, Uncle.
And you, nephew. We have much to catch up on, you and I. I shall expect you to regale me with the tales of all your adventures when next we meet. You can regale me too, Torgal.
You always gotta pet the doggo. Always got to. Torgal's the best. He's the bestest boy.
I'm coming for you, Kupka.
Let's do it, Clive.